Welcome back to session 3. You might be wondering, Jay, why aren't you in the game? Well, that would be because, not this, but because I had to delete like 500 fucking thousand files for no reason.
Well, the Taliban, especially now that the Pakistanis have turned on them as well, are basically eradicated. They have no real forces anymore. So, it's looking good.
Ship.
Hello.
Oh my god. Oh, thank god, dude. I didn't even think to check my checksum.
Our nation will fall if we do not fight them properly, and they have access to... Pakistan is a nuclear nation. We're afraid of what this might... You can imagine yourself.
We can imagine that ourselves, yes, and it is a great concern for China. And as such, if Islam sees any of the nuclear launch sites, China is ready to respond and will preemptively bomb those sites. I understand this is something that you may not appreciate, but for the world stability and in order to keep stability up in the world, China absolutely needs to do this.
Will you assist us in rebuilding them afterwards?
What is happening?
China will assist rebuilding, of course. But,
okay. Then we're fine with it. We completely understand. We actually encourage it.
Yes, I mean, you don't want nuclear weapons in the hands of Islam, do you? Nobody wants that. Nobody. Absolutely nobody.
Not many.
Even from the state he started, it was over. These people, they abandoned me at the first sign of trouble, and I didn't want them as my allies anyways.
I was also going to ask, what is Afghanistan doing? No. Since Afghanistan, Pakistan, India.
I've never spoken to the Afghans, so I don't know really much about what's going on. I do know that, and we could discuss this as part of the meeting, I know Pakistan is on the edge of civil war.
Oh yeah, and he said that he was going to defend me, man, and now he's trying to start a civil war.
At the moment, North Korea is preparing an intervention force with their elite storm corps in order to intervene in the potential conflict in Pakistan.
I'm gonna start sending troops to Lanka. Wait, the Khanists are the ones being killed?
No, the jihadists.
Oh wait, the jihad. Wait, Pakistan's jihadist?
Pakistan elected the jihadists. Yes.
What?
That's an existential problem.
What?
I did receive.
They're moderate jihadists. Yes.
How'd they win the elections?
They're jihadists.
How'd they win?
I don't know, but I did receive a communique from a Pakistani general who chooses to read it anonymous, asking for a possible intervention. So it does sound like there may be some sort of military coup within Pakistan against the current government.
Anyways, I have the money now.
Riyadh, typical.
It's not the ambassador, by the way. It's his older brother. The would-to-be Shah.
The actual Shah.
The actual big man with the potential crown.
In that case, perhaps Iraq would be a better place to make such a gesture, seeing as they are already highly influenced and have less to lose for the moment.
We understand, sir. This is why I'm speaking to you. I don't want to allow him to travel without, consulting.
Of course, as far as his holy duty is considered, he is always welcome in Mecca.
Okay, sir. Alright. I mean, I don't know much about these Arab traditions, sir, but I'm learning currently, and according to the papers I have in front of me, it's the Muslim duty to visit that town. I'm sure that this is a massive, beautiful opportunity for hotels. You should do bank with this, sir. Imagine all of these Muslims visiting you just because it's their religious duty.
Yes, I mean, it is really good for tourism, of course.
It's very beautiful, sir. I wish we would have something like that. Anyway,
How has the situation in Europe developed since the ending of the war?
Please.
America and Russia have agreed on a peaceful solution on this conflict. We have agreed on a referendum to take place after years of stabilization in Donetsk, Luhansk, Kharkiv. They are not being annexed right now by Russia. They are enjoying autonomy until official, real referendums with NATO and international UN observers can take place. And exactly, so we reached a compromise.
That is
just
good to
looking at
hear.
his
That is a good
fucking
news for
documents.
stability, and I am sure it is also good news for the oil prices. That the markets, they don't like this tension. They
Of
just
course.
like to make money. As a
Of
free
course.
trading nation, I am sure you understand.
This is why we agreed to it, of course, yeah. Well, my friend Abdullah, if there is nothing else on our agendas.
Egypt, as you know, the
yeah.
recent transition of power has gone to Muslim Brotherhood linked party. We believe that this is basically the Muslim Brotherhood party. This is
Disgusting.
the same party that they claim to be non-violent, but have ties to a number of terrorist organizations through funding, through recruitment.
We will be able to provide half of that. 400 billion.
That's excellent. This is a historic day, sir.
Of course. We will send the funds right now for this. We expect that you will uphold the items we agreed upon.
I need to speak to some contractors in Taiwan about this immediately, but I think if this possible merger goes well, we should be able to provide the facilities as soon as possible.
Okay.
I will keep you updated.
That would be wonderful. But this is a historic day. I think we came closer to unification, and definitely a step closer to cooling off relations. Not cooling, warming of the relations.
Damn, okay. He said it. Now, yeah, look at all these people starting to type. Now everybody's gonna fucking hop in on this shit. Oh, it's already the first half's almost over. I'm about to have to do the fucking UN. And the last one, we only have 4 resolutions today, which is pretty nice. Fuck. This one may not pass. But Russia is going to do... Oh, withdrawn. Never mind. Shit.
Manage my army, I know what I'm doing, thank you.
Okay.
Getting out of there before it gets fucking toxic. This is what happens when you invite everybody to intervene in your civil war. Jakarta. Let's go to Jakarta.
Alright. Well, we will be in contact when our investments are free.
Yep, of course. Thank you.
Yes. Goodbye.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Hello. We wish to discuss some things with you. We know that you are currently importing oil, fossil fuels, from a bunch of people, and we would like to discuss with you the possibility of you buying our oil instead, as we still have quite some oil that we are willing to sell to our good friends. The Philippines, for example, are already buying some of ours, and Thailand is already buying our light metals and precious metals. So, good deals all around.
It is an interesting proposition. However, we do currently have our own trade agreements and some resource things that we do with other nations, especially with oil. So we don't have any spots for that yet, but perhaps in the future we could discuss it. But right now we do not have a...
That's no problem, my friend, and thank you for listening to our little offer.
Of course. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Thank you to you. Oh, bye. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Oh, hello, Jay.
Hello.
See you in VC. Are you in roleplay? Are we in roleplay or?
No, I was just listening to you
something?
guys. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No problem. No problem. No,
how's
it's
you
okay.
enjoying the game?
It's pretty good. It's going good right now.
Good.
A lot better than before. Fortunately, the first session with the AI
made
things a little crazier, but it brought some good RP, so I'm fine
That's the
with it.
thing, dude. Sometimes if you just roll with the punches, it gives you a good story.
It does, yeah.
Dude, yeah, I had like 2 hours of sleep last night, so I'm running off of caffeine. Germany's talking to Kenya. Fuck, man. Right when I catch an interest in it, they leave. Let's go listen to Zimbabwe and North Korea, I guess. Maybe.
You're not going to get much out of us, Jay. Both of us are not even in the game.
Shit.
Yeah, we're kind of just here to keep each other company in between me hopping to different channels trying to get deals.
Well,
yeah.
Guess I'll go listen to some roleplay before the rehost. Luckily, it's in like 8 minutes, so you guys don't have to wait too long.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. Middle East has kind of gone quiet since that war started a bit. God, dude. I'm looking for Pakistan, thinking, like, I have such an American brain, bro. I click on Middle East, and I'm like, oh, Pakistan must be in here, right? Same with Afghanistan.
We just finishing up.
We did our little victory speech.
Oh, man, I missed it.
Yes.
No.
You
Okay.
also missed a lot of anti-Americanism in that victory speech, but yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
No worries.
Because America chooses to like mug me, like kinda saying if it's a win for you that you beat militias, then I guess it's a win. And I was told this, and then I said in his speech basically, well, it was not America that protected Pakistan from Islamists. It was in India, China,
India, China, and a
Azerbaijan.
random, a couple of random countries.
And don't forget about Romania.
Yeah.
You guys are forgetting the Congolese contribution. I sent so many child soldiers.
Dun, 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 dun. What up? I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get the other last stragglers. Mr. President, the UN, the United Nations.
We have a meeting that's far more important than the UN right now.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
Well, I think we're gonna get started without the United States and without Russia. They are engaged in a deal that they say is far more important than the United Nations, so thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to New York City for this momentous occasion. Again, we will be starting with the first resolution, the Resolution Iran 2005-1, increasing UN rights of the permanent Palestinian observers, I believe within the United Nations. We invite the Iranian delegate to please present the resolution.
Salam, and thank you for this opportunity to speak. We have submitted this resolution to increase the rights of the permanent Palestinian observer in the United Nations. They have held this position for a long time, but they have only been able to observe. And given the Oslo Accords, which are supposed to be a headway to an independent Palestinian state, and the uniqueness of this observer and the impracticalities of the observer status, which makes them need to request others to make resolutions for them, we believe it is the right time that the Palestinian observer status gains the possibility to create his own resolutions. I thank you, and I cede my time.
Thank you. We now, We now open the floor to any nation who wishes to speak. Representatives from Israel.
Fellow delegates, as many of you may know, the Palestinian Authority has fallen and is now ruled by an Islamic Jihad organization who seeks nothing but the destruction of the Jewish state and its people. And we would therefore wish for this resolution to be opposed, as we should not give a voice and power to a terrorist organization with the goal of destruction of any civilian populace and its people. And we cede our time.
Thank you. We now recognize a speaker from the People's Republic of China.
Thank you, gentlemen. As you may know, the People's Republic of China does recognize Palestine. Therefore, we support this resolution with our fullest content and heart, as we believe that Palestine deserves a place in this body and deserves a voice to be heard. Therefore, we urge the international community to support this resolution, and I cede my time. Thank you.
Thank you. We now recognize a speaker from Thailand.
Thank you, Speaker. We believe that people shouldn't support this resolution. As what Israel said, the Palestinian Authority is currently run by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, which seek to destroy the the Israeli government. So yes, thank you. We see our time.
Thank you. We now recognize the speakers from Hungary.
Dear delegates, Honorable Chair, well, the status of the permanent UN observers falls under it doesn't fall under the charter of the UN. There are no special provisions for permanent observers in this organization. The main question is, why will we increase the power of the Palestinians among all of the other UN observer states instead of giving them a permanent seat in this council? Thank you very much.
Thank you. We now recognize the speakers from Armenia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As president of Armenia, I will be taking a very staunch pro-Israeli stance. Any stance which openly benefits Islamists in Palestine will not be tolerated, and because of this, I will be voting against this bill. It simply empowers the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and I don't see it as an effective way to solve the Palestinian issue. Thank you. I see my time.
Thank you. We now recognize the speakers from India.
Thank you. We first wish to state, just for clarity, that the United Nations does have permanent observers. Presently, the only permanent observer is the Holy See, or Vatican. We then wish to secondly state that with the incredible rise worldwide of Islamic movements and Islamic militants, we believe that this would only be a move to empower a very dangerous group who continue to threaten the Israeli regime, who, we remind you, the same rhetoric used against Israel was used by the 9/11 attackers. We yield our time.
Thank you. We now invite the speakers from Iran.
Thank you. We've seen a lot of diversion with the recent election of the more hardliners in Palestine. They have been democratically elected by the Palestinian people. So if this is a reason not to vote on this resolution, please reconsider, because the Palestinian people wanted this ruling party in power, and they've been democratically elected. I thank you.
Thank you. As a guest of honor, as this resolution is related to this state and region, we now invite a representative of this political party within the Levant.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, first of all, yes, the other party has now taken power in the West Bank. We do not deny that we are open enemies of Israel, but we are also realists. And we have already contacted Israel. We have sent a letter, despite it has not been answered. But we do not, for now, seek the destruction of Israel. We are open for cooperation. And you must understand that having a right to make our own resolutions will help to achieve peace in the Middle East and in the whole world as a whole. Granting us this right will help us to make this world better. Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no other speakers, then we now will move along to the voting stage. If you have not already cast your vote, please do so now. Resolution passes with 14 in favor and 9 against, and 26 abstentions. The United Nations Security Council will have to ratify the accession of Palestine in order for them to become a full member of the United Nations General Assembly, but that is for the Security Council to do, if they so wish. Moving along to our next resolution, the UN Resolution Korea 2005-1, International Sanctions on the Republic of Korea. Apologies for saying illegitimate. We now recognize the speakers from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
Oh, thank you, dear speaker. You have got me smiling ear to ear. Regardless, recalling the 2000 NKSK de-armament agreement, which was meant to lead to a further demilitarized Korean peninsula and towards regional peace, signed by Kim Dae-jung and Kim Jong-il, acknowledging the DPRK's efforts towards making peace with its southern neighbor via major demilitarization efforts and a limiting of military spending, noting with concern the lack of equal participation within these treaties and the immediate backsliding shown by the ROK, as you can see in these two posts, calling for the protection of regional peace and the necessary demobilization of this rogue nation, who is clearly attempting to stir tensions in an already tense region. Thus, until the ROK realigns itself with the treaties it has signed, the world should sanction them for breaking the international law and breaking a treaty between two states. DPRK does not want tension in the region, but the ROK's government is intent on increasing tensions and not reducing them. They should be condemned for this. I end my turn.
Thank you. We now open the stage to any nations who wish to speak on the matter, and also the new ID is up in the announcements if you haven't joined.
Thank you. We
recognize India. Sorry.
Thank you, Jay. Oh, unbelievable. Can't believe I wasn't recognized until now. We believe that the Koreans in this case are attempting to ignore the full matters and full statements on issues that arise in their own nation, to instead look upon treaties which were never fully signed or intended to be completed. And we cannot even compare the figures of the Republic of Korea with North Korea due to North Korea's seeming ambiguity on a lot of important features. To that degree, as far as India is concerned, this is a complete non-issue, and we stand with the Republic of Korea. Yield our time.
We now invite the speakers from the Republic of Korea.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. As you've heard, the North Koreans have called or have stated that we are illegitimate. Do they wish to resume what happened in the 50s? Are they seriously going back on recognition of our government? I ask that the North Korean delegate rethinks his words. The treaty that was meant to be signed was signed in ill faith. The previous president had no true real understanding of the state of the North, who deals in corrupt acts with the mafia and with other illegitimate ways of contraband.
That's your time.
Thank you. I'll bide my time.
We now recognize the speaker from Angola.
Yes, this will be in two brief parts. First, I must condemn the Republic of Korea's attempt at warmongering by suggesting that they would possibly reignite the Korean War that was fought between 1950 and 1953, plunging East Asia possibly into all-out warfare. Second, I would ask the People's Democratic Republic of Korea to specify what they feel the violations that the Republic of Korea are doing in order to justify this particular resolution. If they could provide for this body specific examples of the Republic of Korea not backing up their side of the treaty or agreement between your two nations, that may go a long way in having this body perhaps support your resolution going forward. Until that time, we can't vote in favor or against it. And I feel many other members here would also have to abstain because we are not fully aware what these particular issues happen to be.
That's your time.
Thank you. I see my time.
Thank you. We now recognize the speakers from Germany.
Yes, thank you. The first issue that we are taking notice here is that nations cannot dictate whether other nations and what they do with their military. You cannot force nations to remove their military or anything like that. So they have their military, and that's what it is. Also, the United Nations General Assembly should not be really. It can barely it doesn't really do much for treaties or bilateral negotiations within two nations. That is all that we are bringing forward. That is all that we really have to say, is that the General Assembly can't really do much in effect to help solve the issue of North Korea and South Korea. Thank you.
Thank you. We now recognize the speakers from the People's Republic of China.
Thank you, dear President. The People's Republic of China calls on both Koreas to ease their rhetoric and their tensions in the region. We do not want to see a major war happening in the Korean Peninsula, as this will be plunging all of Asia into war. We also want to remind the Republic of Korea that any threats towards North Korea will be met by, or any military provocations by the Republic of Korea will be met with Chinese answers. Just to make that clear. I'd cede my time. Thank you.
Thank you. We ask all delegates to refrain from making threats or insinuations. Oh, you know what I'm trying to say, on the world stage. We now recognize the speakers from Canada.
The delegation can only be here for a minute. We just want to quickly stress the importance of peace, the importance of collaboration. It's why the United Nations was founded. These threats of conflict, these threats of war, they do nothing but endanger the lives of millions of East Asians and people around the world. And so we call on both North Korea and South Korea to just calm down. Just take a breath. There is no need to devolve to baseless hostilities or armed conflict. There's just no need. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. We now recognize the speaker from the Republic of Korea, and then we will finish off with the People's Democratic Republic of Korea. Jeez.
Yes. Sorry. I wish to apologize to the floor if my rhetoric was a bit harsh. Being called a illegitimate government is a note we have noted from the North. If the North wishes to call us illegitimate, we will respond in kind and call that they are illegitimate. We wish to apologize for our previous rhetoric of threatening or any saber rattling to the Chinese delegate. But if the North calls us illegitimate, we will call them illegitimate. That is all, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. We now recognize as our final speaker the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
Well, this is exactly what I mean when I mentioned to the West the fact that I've been scorned at every turn. Because this is exactly the attempt to entirely shift this from the ROK directly going against treaties that they have signed with our government that we attempted to organize for the first time ever. And they have immediately blown it up and gone in our face, acting as if this is completely fine by international standards, is absolutely laughable. If this is what you're allowing the ROK to get up to with no reason, and their actual attempts to continue their propaganda broadcasts across the border, despite signing a treaty, directly signing their name, regardless, you see my point. If the West is willing to allow this, I do not understand.
Thank you. And we will now move along to the voting stage. If you have not cast your vote, please do so now. You will have 15 seconds to do so. Okay. Resolution fails with 32 against, 17 abstentions, and 2 in favor. Since Russia has not come in attendance to the General Assembly meeting, we will not address their resolution, but our rotating members will be Yugoslavia, Brazil, Nigeria, Israel, and South Korea. I'm gonna move everybody from in the UNSC then back to the stage. Is that okay? So we could do this last one then. Okay.
No.
Okie dokie. We will now move on to UN Resolution Peru 2005 Green Planet Global Cooperation Framework. We now invite the Peru speaker to present the resolution.
Mr. Speaker. So this resolution creates a global framework for sustainable environmental clean energy. And we took initiative from Hungary's framework, and this time we would like to stress the sovereignty of all member states that allow those to contribute to this framework in any economic form that they can, and if they wish not to, they don't have to. But the purpose of this agreement would be to create a kind of like a shared coalition group that goes over different technological advancements. It'll go over their own infrastructure investments, and it takes into consideration of all member states of poor countries as well, if they cannot afford green energy, and this would allow those countries to actually have a voice in the UN stage. And it's more sort of towards a new vision meant for clean energy on the world scale. As we would like to remind all members of the UN, this takes a long time for green energy to actually take over in a country. So this collective framework for the world can work together to speed up this development and be a sort of a backup in the event of a natural resources not being sustainable anymore for a member state.
Okay, then we now recognize the speaker from Canada.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We'd just like to stress that when it comes to pushing for renewable energies, whilst Canada's always open to uplifting those in the global south and those working in poverty to ensure that energy be brought about in a proper manner, we would like to stress that there are dozens of nations across the globe that are incredibly dependent on non-renewable energy sources, and that at a time when oil prices are quite significantly high, we should not seek to immediately compromise. And whilst I understand that is not the intention of this bill, we would like to stress that there should be apprehension and calculated steps about how we go about this. Sorry, a boot. Thank you, Ollie. I'll yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Thank you. We now recognize the speakers from Sweden.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In response to Brazil, I will say Sweden wants to. We wholeheartedly can get behind this great ecological resolution. The time to save the environment is now, ladies and gentlemen. We must take action to prevent the downfall of the only Earth that we have. Sweden loves this resolution and will support it in all measures it can. Thank you.
Thank you. We now recognize the speakers from Pakistan.
Ladies and gentlemen, as our nation has come out of a dark time, we can wholeheartedly tell you the consequences of air pollution are terrible. As our troops were fighting in Karachi, Islamabad, they could barely breathe. There was pollution everywhere. We must strive for a greener world, for our children to endure without issues of health. A green world is necessary for all. I cede my time.
Thank you. We now recognize the speakers from the Philippines.
This resolution is incredible. We need a more green Earth, and we need to increase energy production in a healthy manner for the world. To that end, we support this resolution and would like to point out that we interpret this not as something that needs to be paid for per se by committee, but actually as an urging, as an imploring for all nations to invest in green energy on their own, however much and however able they are to do so. I yield my time at this point.
Thank you. And we now recognize the speakers from Australia, which I believe have proposed an amendment to this resolution, so if you have not voted on that, to vote on that as well, please.
Yes, thank you very much. I wanted to use this time to basically announce this amendment to all and ask you for your support. All countries with GDP per capita above $60,000 shall pay 20 billions into a one-time fund, so the United Nations can create a framework to distribute this money to the countries with the lowest GDP to make concrete plans for investment. I believe this would answer the questions asked about a concrete investment plan, and I believe this is something we should do. Thank you very much. I yield my time.
Thank you. We now recognize the speakers from Peru.
To quell the concerns of those delegates that are concerned about economic investments, this resolution more is supposed to establish a framework for scientists all around the world and different people of different communities in their own member states to express the ongoing energy issues in their countries. And it allows us to move not only towards a cleaner energy infrastructure for the world, but also to allow other countries to invest in clean energy infrastructure, as they will reap the benefits from these economic investments, as well as helping the rest of the world. We do not personally believe that anybody should have to be forced to pay economic attributions unless they agree to during the panels from their representatives when we discuss, as we talk about in our section 1, that all countries have to discuss climate issues impacting their countries, as well as their own technologies, green infrastructure. You do not have to pay any amounts of money, as we would like to re-highlight. We just think that this is a strong initiative and strong framework, as this can take many years to build up.
That is your time.
For a cleaner energy. We yield our time.
Thank you. We now recognize the speaker from Brazil.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Would the Australian government please explain why they feel that all nations have to pay this when not all nations are responsible? When your government was openly being financed by mining corporations, which are contributing to this, Brazil was leading the charge by investing in renewable energy. We have invested all across Africa. Nations like Australia, which put us in this situation, should have to pay more, not nations like Brazil. We led the way. We were doing this 2 years before this body even considered this to be important. 2 years before the Hungarians magically showed up in South America and suddenly started lecturing the world on the importance of this. Brazil is aware of the situation, and we are taking active steps. We have received no support, no sympathy from anyone, and now all of a sudden Australia shows up and yet again humiliates Brazil on the world stage by demanding that we pay more. Australia should pay more. Australia put us in this mess, not Brazil. Thank you.
Thank you. And as our final speaker today, we will recognize Armenia.
Thank you, Speaker. I must point out, while we do support this bill, we must also point out a potential hypocrisy that may be present in this bill. While rich nations in the West and East are both clamoring for this bill, we must also question minor nations like our own and other post-Soviet nations and nations in Africa who are reliant on coal and oil still. All these rich nations talk about is, oh, we should adopt green energy, but isn't it a little unfair that they expect us to adopt green energy sources when they got their starting via coal and oil? It is quite unfair and is a bit of a hypocrisy present that may be setting a precedent in the near future. We do still support this bill, but we also must recognize that it is a little unfair to expect other more minor nations to start out with green energy, a much more unreliable source of energy to actually get your nation going, when they use coal and oil to get their footing in the world. Thank you.
We now recognize the speaker from Australia.
I just needed to respond to Brazil in this forum. Australia is ready to pay 40 billion. This is not intended as a bribe, but a first step into the right direction. We do not intend to alienate the Brazilian delegation. We applaud you and your efforts, and you are right that Australia has profited of the mining sector in the past. That is exactly why we know why this is important, and we introduced this amendment to make sure that something gets done. Thank you very much. I yield my time.
Thank you. I think that Peru has talked enough, but please be brief. We will recognize you really quickly, and then we will move along to voting.
Really here's the concerns of the Brazilian delegation, and we would just like to quickly highlight that we do not ourselves support Australia's amendment, as we believe it can significantly harm poorer countries, and Peru has its own issues with deforestation in pursuit of looking for natural resources that has harmed our own people. So we believe a worldwide coalition to help push more towards clean energy is very important. I'll yield my time.
Thank you. And we will now move along to the voting stage. If you have not cast your vote on the main resolution, then please do so now, and as well as the amendment. Okay. The resolution passes with 31 in favor, 12 abstentions, and 1 opposed, but the amendment fails with 14 against and 8 in favor and 3 abstentions. We will now move along to the UNSC stage. If you are a rotating member or a permanent member, please raise your hand. Mr. Bush shows
The
up
American
just in
delegate
time.
graces us with his presence.
Just in time.
There was a Frenchman in the assembly waiting
yes,
to get
my
up.
apologies,
Mr.
I feel misrepresented here.
Alrighty.
All right. So we support the accession of Palestine. As you know, the PST has been a stern supporter of the recognition of Palestine. We recognize the state, and it is high time that Palestine gets a voice in this body. We want the opinion of anybody else, of course, but China supports this.
On this matter, the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia also supports the ascension of Palestine as a observer status member who will be able to make its own resolutions. We believe that all international crises can be resolved diplomatically, and in order to do that, it all starts with these esteemed United Nations.
Yep, I knew that was going to happen.
Jay, do you
Just
want
keep
to
going.
It seems to us that the world is ignoring the fact that the Islamic jihadist movement is in control of Palestine and the Palestinian Authority at this moment, and not understanding the security and then the concerns that the world should have with allowing this type of organization this kind of observer status.
If I may speak, so it was brought to our attention that this group was democratically elected. What led to the situation on the ground that as in Pakistan and now Palestine, Islamic terrorists are being elected as members and when competing up against more established moderate parties? What is triggering this?
We have intelligence that we would be willing to share with permanent members on how this is happening, but we're not willing to release this publicly.
Brazil is not a permanent member, and we're the one that asked the question. Are the Israelis? Well, can you at least state that there's a foreign actor that you believe is behind this?
We have accurate intelligence that this is the case. Yes.
I see.
If Israel is not willing to share this information, then China has no reason to believe that this is the case.
Well, we are willing to, as I stated, share this information with our allies and with permanent members of the Council, but we are not willing to publicly share this with all countries, as this is information gained, of course.
Then if Israel will share this to the PRC and other trusted countries, then we will consider this. But as of now, if Israel is not ready to release it to China at least, we're not rescinding our support.
Does Israel honestly think that Brazil South Korea and Nigeria are threats?
It is not threats. We are just ensuring the security of our assets and our information.
And do you feel that those three nations are potentially liabilities?
Well, you are currently supporting a terrorist organization with its goal to destroy my country.
At no point has Brazil supported any terrorist organization.
You are currently supporting a Islamic Palestinian Jihad movement, sir.
Is Israel also accusing the PSC of supporting terrorists?
If you are willing to support an Islamic jihadist movement, that is indeed what you are doing. These are the facts on the ground, the reality on the ground.
That is not the reality. It was a democratic elected government.
Yeah, this was solved with the ballot box.
Are you saying a democracy cannot elect terrorists? This is what has happened in the Palestinian Authority.
What we're getting at is that you have stated that you believe a foreign actor has subverted the democratic process. We would like to see evidence of that brought before the international community so that this international actor can be punished. Is this international actor currently in this room right now? Is that what you're trying to state?
No, they are not currently in this room.
Then why should this be difficult to share with us? At least the members of the United Nations Security Council, so that we can act now.
Yeah. We can make this a closed session. We can.
Why should this be gatekept? As the French would like to ask. The French would just like to ask why can't the Israelis express this here? There's no dangerous or anti-Israeli states here that are to be listening. If this is important information that the rest of the international community needs to hear, then it's detrimental or needed that the Israelis actually provide this information. If not, we cannot vote upon it.
And I guess we are forced to share. We have gathered intelligence with the Mossad, as you are aware, that the Ayatollah in Iran has been fomenting extremist views in many Middle Eastern countries, not only the West Bank, but that this is now also going to Gaza, and we also have reason to believe that Egypt and the recent more extremist views coming out of Egypt was also influenced by Iran and their agents.
The only question that Brazil would have to that is, without seeing direct evidence now, it's how is it that Shia Muslims are able to manipulate and influence Sunni Muslims?
This is because many Islamic countries are against the Jewish state.
Okay.
One thing that I would like to point here is that we're not debating to give the hardline Sunni political party in Palestine the right to make resolutions. We're debating to give the state the area of Palestine. So in the future, if another government of Palestine is elected, they would also need to have the right to make resolutions.
If the situation on the ground was not that the Islamic Jihad was in control, Israel would not be against this amendment or against this resolution. But the reality on the ground is that Iranian-backed influence groups in Palestine have seized control against the Palestinian Authority, and they have actively told us, and as Palestine left out some of the information in that letter, explicitly told us they were against a two-state solution, and that they were indeed religious and national fanatics.
Mr. Representative, hardline Shia Muslims funding and supporting hardline Sunni Muslims is highly improbable. Isn't it possible that you were given false information?
No, this lines up with everything we have been seeing, and we are very much believe in our information.
Well, this is of course very serious allegations, and we are confident that the Israeli state will not sit in the UN Security Council and lie to the whole world. We do see it that if we recognize the state of Palestine as a member of the United Nations, we do also, in a form, not completely recognise the right for the Salafi jihadist government on the West Bank to rule. And I think we need to tread very carefully here, because this is a very sensitive situation within extremist governments ruling an area that it's a very sensitive topic.
The Republic of Korea will be supporting the Israeli viewpoint. We will have our vote be with theirs.
Until the situation is not fully uncovered, China will be abstaining from this.
Brazil feels
the United States will be voting against this as well.
Brazil feels that denying the Palestinian people a seat at the table is going to potentially make the situation worse. Is there something that the Israelis could offer in exchange to sort of mitigate this? We don't want to see successive Islamic fundamentalists winning elections as a result of this.
They have already won this election, as you said yourself.
But there will be elections in the future, will there not?
We are not in control of the Palestinian Authority. What can I cannot tell you yes or no on that.
What
and
we're
actually,
at,
as of right now, there are no elections in the new Palestinian Authority.
So
at least no proclaimed ones.
They have suspended elections.
This matter is extremely frustrating, and I understand that. And by no means do I endorse or support the vile, reprehensive of a sort of unstable Islamic regime. Brazil withdrew its embassy from Pakistan in protest, but we have to offer the Palestinian people something. My fear is that they will continue to run to more radicalized voices and potentially threaten Israel further. We have to give them something.
They are already doing this. They have openly told us they are against a two-state solution. They have openly told us that they are religious and national fanatics. And we have intelligence that Iran is trying to supply them and other extremist groups.
Is Israel prepared to submit a resolution with that evidence in hand so that we can punish the Iranians if the allegations are true?
We can have discussions on this, yes.
Because if given the explosiveness of that evidence and the fact that the Iranians have signed a deal with the United States to supposedly leave this chapter behind, I think the international community needs to take action on that. This is very damning evidence and extremely disheartening to Brazil, because we had hoped that by engaging with the Iranians, they would refrain from this sort of negative activity.
1 minute warning.
Has this new elected government actually done anything terroristically? Has it acted in a terrorist way against Israel or its own people?
These elections have just occurred.
Political party or their leader have any prior history of committing terrorist acts? I believe not. If they don't have any prior history of committing any terrorist acts, and of course I recognize that they are fundamentalists in their religious viewpoints, just as like
Yes, Yassan is the founder and leader of Hamas.
Ahmad Yassin.
Interesting.
The timer has concluded. If you guys want to cast a vote, or you can, or there's just no decision.
You would like to start a vote call on this, to see if this will pass or not.
Okay.
We can begin. China will abstain.
Okay, China abstains. Nigeria. The United States.
The United States says no.
Tony Blair, UK.
The United Kingdom votes no.
France.
France abstains.
Brazil.
Brazil abstains.
Nigeria.
Nigeria abstains.
Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia abstains.
And Russia is an abstention as well because they're not present. Republic of Korea.
The Republic of Korea votes against.
So this is not
So
possible.
it appears it will not pass the Security Council, yes. Based upon the United States' vote no, the UK's vote no, the ROK's vote against, and then the rest abstentions.
Yes.
Very well. Well, you gentlemen and ladies, thank you for coming. We are open to adjourn here if you'd like. You can also stay and discuss things if you wish.
The People's Republic of China will quickly ask about another topic, voice our concern about the aggressive rhetoric of the Republic of Korea against the Democratic Republic of Korea. We feel like this kind of rhetoric does not belong in diplomatic channels. We also want to see stability and further integration and peace prevailing in the Korean Peninsula. That is our concern.
There will be peace, but we weren't the first ones to be called illegitimate. The North Koreans were the first ones to declare us illegitimate. We just responded in kind to their words. We didn't tell them to call us illegitimate. They started it.
Yes, but by reacting, by then immediately threatening to continue the Korean War is a huge rhetoric escalation, and something that in Beijing has raised hairs.
We understand this, and we have, of course, the diplomat or the diplomatic envoy has been told, and he apologized. He realized he was out of line for that rhetoric, and as such, he apologized.
Yeah, I think we could request at least for South Korea to just officially state that this was more officially state that this was an actual mistake. Yet having the argument that they did it first is not a valid argument.
Yes, we are not in child's kindergarten here. We are an UN body, and we need to maintain international law, which also the Republic of Korea is bound by. Another thing is that we say that, as you may know, the People's Republic of Korea is guaranteeing North Korea, and if the Republic of Korea starts any aggressive actions against North Korea, China is ready to respond in kind.
Let's not speak of war.
No, we're not speaking of war. We're just making the delegate aware that any escalation like that could lead to unprecedented consequences.
I'm sure Mr. The South Korean delegate already knows that.
Can we talk this down?
Yes.
Yes, the DMZ has been well established. We will not open and declare any hostilities unless the North wishes to try something.
Okay, that's
the North is not trying anything. The North is
I
actively.
I think that this situation is.
Another way to bring forward the Republic of Greece has given an ultimatum to the Republic of Albania to release the southern parts of Albania to Greece. Otherwise, I believe they're going to be declaring a war against the state of Albania.
Greece is preparing war against Albania. Did I hear that right?
That would be against NATO.
According to the ultimatums that the Hellenic state, which is under a fascist government, has issued towards the Albanian state, yes.
Is NATO aware of this?
Yes, and we're standing ready.
We are standing ready.
Are you
standing
ready
to support or oppose?
To oppose it. To immediately to oppose the Greek blatant aggression.
What will you do if they attack? Will they be still in NATO? Or
we cannot speak for the rest of NATO, but France themselves would take action.
Classified document. Hello, sir.
Unless there is much more to talk about, I think we need to conclude this session because the United States delegation and more than likely the NATO members need to leave to address this issue right now.
Then
Yes,
I think we,
one
yeah,
second,
then we need to
yeah.
conclude.
Yeah, just one more thing. The PSC will also apply sanctions should Greece attack Albania.
We appreciate this.
All right.
Appreciate this.
Thank you.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Okay, silence. Silence.
I will also inform you that this seems like a Czech police force is on the border of Albania as well.
On Greek side.
Yes.
Yes.
Gentlemen, is the Greek delegation here at any chance?
No, they're not.
Get him in here. Where is he?
What is the European
Afghanistan,
Union?
you do not need to be here. Afghanistan, you do not need to be here.
Yeah.
I'm looking for Korea. Have you seen him?
No, they're clearly not here.
They're clearly not here, sir.
Oh my god.
I would like to get a report from the European Union on what their recent experiences with Greece was. For how long is this government in power, and how do they act?
Yeah, this government has been in power since 2003. However, they've shown zero aggressive tendencies until now.
Yeah.
They've just behaved as a right-wing political party. We do know that they have previously had neo-Nazi affiliations. However, these affiliations have never been acted on, and we've had several assurances that they've moved on from that aspect of their history as a political party. This new type of aggression with Albania and their claims on potentially other states has never been mentioned.
I've been summoned, apparently.
Yes, can you please clarify what is going on between you and Albania?
The Albanian mafia has been targeting the Greek people within southern Albania. They have the Albanian government have been supportive of said mafias in Yugoslavia in the past. We are demanding that our people are returned back to us.
We would like to ask the Greek if there's any actual evidence of this, or if this is just empty claims.
No, this
even if there is evidence, this is not a reason to overthrow a European government. We are not in the 19th century.
We are not here to overthrow them. We are here to retake our people back.
Yes, but you can't simply do that in NATO or the EU. We warn you to calm down. Yes.
No, France, move on. Yeah, continue.
It's just we want, at least France, we want a further clarification instead of just that they did this. We want more.
Yeah, we totally agree. It sets a very bad precedent if a NATO nation is demanding territory from another nation.
Definitely.
It is directly against UN charters to act on this regardless.
Yes.
Does Greece intend to breach the very sanctity and the rules of the United Nations?
We are offering the Albanians peaceful solution.
With force.
Any use of force or threat is against the UN charters.
I mean, it is not a simple handshake and say we invite you to do this. This is simply holding a gun to their face and saying you have the possibility to say no. It's not an actual referendum or any ultimatum. Even if it was an actual ultimatum, this is simply just completely ludicrous. You cannot act on a few things to invade a country.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we totally agree, and this is just shocking. We are ready to offer you still a way out. We don't want to punish Greece for anything. You technically didn't do anything yet that would justify major actions. We are inviting Greece to stay calm, and we are inviting you to pressure the Albanian government diplomatically and according to the UN Charter and the Charter of NATO. America and most of your allies stand always with you, and we are ready to defend you, but we are equally ready to defend those that are unjustly attacked.
But my people within Albania are unjustly attacked all the time by the mafia that has been supported by the
You cannot
Albanians.
invade the country because of that, my friend.
You continue to use the phrase "your people" when these lands are fully recognized internationally as the lands belonging to Albania.
No, that is not.
Very large.
That's not true.
There's a very large population of Greek people who are a part of Greece.
This is the exact same rhetoric Russia has just used to forcibly attempt to annex half of Ukraine.
But
Greece
it
should
is
not
not
be trying
true.
this at this time.
There is the Corfu Protocol that says that if Albanians attack Greeks, then southern Albania will go back to Greece.
Regardless of whether there's a protocol, it goes against the United Nations Charter.
No, it doesn't. It is recognized by the UN.
This is an agreement from 1914. Are we still being held to such matters?
Yeah.
In 2007?
For the United Nations.
That's ridiculous.
Whoa,
Just because a citizen got attacked by a mafia, which is plaguing not only in Albania but also it was a problem in Italy, which they handled very quickly and very professionally. People are getting killed all over the planet, which is a disgrace. But this is not a reason for a nation to attack another region, especially if it's not state-sponsored. And we have no evidence that the Albanian government is supporting their own people getting murdered. This is absurd. So we would request Greece to calm down again. We can have lovely talks in Washington. We can talk about everything. But this is not the right path, sir. This is a humiliation to yourself.
To this alliance, I would even.
I am willing to work with the Albanians if they hand back the territory and give me my people back.
This is not a negotiation to have only one ending in mind and refuse to compromise from it.
Yeah.
We're inviting the Greek delegates to stand back and stand by before the United Nations can
Not only
conduct a proper
that's
investigation.
Throw back to 2020, brother.
But this kind of rhetoric is not acceptable,
totally
regardless of what you're claiming is happening there.
You can always make a make an just statement and say that you stand against this. You could also just speak in it in the UN.
The UN does not do anything.
It does do things, but you cannot just simply act on your own to invade or to threaten to invade a country.
If everything is anything for you, if the word anything for you is to land grab, then yes, the UN in that case doesn't do anything because the UN is created to prevent situations like this. Rightfully so.
This is true.
And we cannot and we will not tolerate aggression on our beautiful continent.
I do not accept the aggression on my people.
That rhetoric is a double-edged sword, my friend, because that rhetoric can be used against you as well. Because if we look at your government currently, you have pretty extremist views, in our opinion, in many of us.
How is the situation of the Turkish minority?
Let's not go straight to threatening Greece either.
We are not threatening Greece at all.
No one has even made an attempt.
No one has threatened Greece.
NATO's cracks are showing.
What the minorities in Greece are feeling currently. How is the Turkish minority in Greece doing? How is the Bulgarian minority in Greece feeling right now?
They are Greek citizens and therefore they are respected under the Greek law.
Just like Albanian citizens are Albanian citizens then.
But they are simply Greek people. They wish to be a part of Greece, but they have historically lived within the Albanian, within the territory.
This is becoming more and
It has
more,
become
again, as
Albania.
India has stated, an identical rhetoric to Russia. We believe strongly that Greece needs to stand back from this rhetoric now and look upon what their nation is doing, rather than attempting what is clearly a failed attempt at a false narrative.
We agree.
If Greece makes any form of an action, as we are only an ally and a member of CETO, we will impose immediate and total sanctions against Greece.
So will America, and we will defend the Albanian people if necessary, in accordance to our European allies' position.
And the European Commission will be making steps.
European Commission.
Potential suspendment of voting rights and potential removal from the European Union, as well as sanctions may be in place.
Yes, we will not take this really.
Unless my people are
Not
going
allow
to
a second European war in 4 years.
You do not need to allow your people to be attacked. You can, but you cannot also. You also have no reason and no clearance
Violence
to
does not
invade a
beget
country.
violence.
I'm confident that the European Union is more than willing to help you out investigating potential crimes against Greek minorities. And America would even join this if we are invited. And we are more than ready to investigate all of this.
We won't take attack on Greece lightly if it actually had happened, Greek citizen or Greek, but we also won't take you invading a country lightly.
Yes. So, what do you think?
This discussion with the investigation, but we expect to it be fair.
It will, of course,
it is
be
our
fair.
people, and it must be done swiftly before our people risk being killed more.
Of course, yeah, of course. So, I guess we concluded this topic then. It will be fair. We will have a lovely investigation with European beautiful standards, which are very beautiful and applaudable. And America is more than ready to support it, as we are always ready to support our European allies and anyone else, no matter where his nation lays. Gentlemen, if there's nothing else you would like to add to this Albanian-Greek misunderstanding, this is how I will phrase it, then I would like to invite you to Moscow in order to do the referendum in Ukraine. Well, let us go from room to room then.
This conversation will have to happen at another time. We are currently being invaded. Paratroopers are landing in Moscow, and the Russians are active.
NATO is present.
West Berlin.
We are landing with a F-22.
Right. Well, very beautiful plane, Mr. President. You look so good in it. Yes.
He came with Air Force 1, Air Force 2, Air Force 3, Air Force 4.
Love to see, love to see. All right, gentlemen. I wish that I could provide a better and more prepared speech, but unfortunately I ran short on time, so I just want to say this. For too long, East and West has been a division not just in our countries, but in our minds and our hearts. This does not need to happen. This is the modern era, where countries can cooperate, diplomatize, and collaborate together for many different things. There does not have to be, a hatred between our two sides of our continent. Okay, there can be peace and stability in all of Europe and all of the world. I want to commend everybody that is, has been part of this diplomacy and part of this cooling of relations and part of this new step forward for our generation. With these referendums, not only do we vote for the future of the Donbass republics, but a vote for the future of all of the world. I want to thank everybody for coming, and you've all been given just a tiny glass, but a very good glass of vodka. Please drink this. It's very nice, not poison. It is not poison.
You get a car, and you get my car.
We brought our own drinks from Washington, sir.
You refuse my gift.
No, I do not. Come, give me.
Do you refuse my gift?
This is the medieval
Give me
era
the
of the
vodka.
guest right.
This is great vodka. All right. Please.
If we could also say one or two words, we of course didn't have any time to prepare anything, but NATO is not against anyone, including Russia, and we will of course work very hard from our side to improve our relations with the Russian nation. But what has to be answered will always be answered, sir. Let me say it like this. The good thing is we are here together now to do a referendum, multiple referendums actually, in the eastern Ukrainian regions, and I think we should start doing them. We have beautiful observers here from all around the world.
Absolutely.
You are watching history, gentlemen, taking place.
Okay, out of character, we're doing this through ChatGPT. The fucking prompt for ChatGPT was approved. Both sides. I'm gonna stream it.
Yeah, you will stream.
Wow. These fucking referendum is fucking
High tech.
Yes, very, very high-tech referendum.
Very
All right,
high-tech.
gentlemen, the
No. Oh god.
Oh god.
All right, the ballot boxes are open. We love to see this. Everybody is, is doing the
Even Putin
voting.
votes. Do you see? Even Putin votes.
All right, the ballot boxes are open. Everybody has full transparency to see how the voting happens, and we'll see the results as we hang out here today, in this luxury lounge, Donetsk has joined Russia.
Donetsk did.
Luhansk almost didn't join Russia. Jesus Christ. Holy fucking
Holy shit.
way.
All right. Wow.
Dear
Okay,
delegates, we are approving this referendum. We didn't see anything wrong. We are very happy that we could do this together, and we congratulate the people who won today, the people who were able to participate in this free and fair referendum.
The Russian Federation thanks everybody. Thank you specifically to the United States and their strong,
This is the
strong
craziest
diplomacy.
timeline ever.
We are not sweating at all. We totally knew everything was going to go like this. We were not at all worried. This is very, very good.
Never. There's no soaked cloth next to his bed.
Congratulations, Mr. Putin.
Should I put the blood pressure medication away?
Yeah, that's what are you talking about? This is not for me. Give it to
Wait, you
the
saying
other
that's
man.
not blue chew?
On a very, very serious note, we mean everything we say at the beginning of this voting, that this is not about the future of Eastern Ukraine. This is not about the future of just Russia or Europe. This is about the future of the world. Our two blocks do not need to be hostile to one another, and they're not going to be from now on. Just as President Bush has said, we extend the same promises of warming of relations, a building of a bridge, networks between our nations. Everything is going to be very peaceful and very good between us, and we look forward to all of this. Thank you very much so much for coming.
We agree with this, of course. And Mr. Putin, we shall meet in Washington as well at some point.
Yes, my friend. I look forward to doing this. Everybody, thank you for coming. Please lift your sanctions. It is over. Goodbye.
The U.S. military band, please follow us.
Mr. President, may I request a small meeting with you?
Oh, Mr. Australia, I'm glad I have you here. I just wanted to say one thing while people can notice. Let's see. I have this written down somewhere. Let me just let me find this very quickly, please. Hold on. All right. And on the personal note, Vladimir, you and I are not friends. The revelations my staff brought to me disgust me. The Russian people are not decent human beings. Is this familiar to you, my friend?
What? What do you mean?
I believe I'm reading personal communique between our two nations, and this was after we had already agreed on having, hosting Australian military brigades in Murmansk for winter training. Perhaps maybe a monkey got access to your, your diplomatic letters or something. Somebody trolling on the internet, a hacker maybe, yes?
Indeed, there were some monkeys in the Australian intelligence service.
Yes. Let us hope these monkeys get caught. Okay. Cannot be a problem again, all right?
Most definitely, my friend.
Okay, all right. We must have other issues we need to attend to. But we thank you for your visit.
Thank you very much.
Good day. Oh my god, no! My friend! Boris Yeltsin just died! Oh no! Boris Yeltsin! My good friend. He just died. Oh. Get rid of him. Fuck him. All right. We have Kazakhstan. Have you heard about the referendums in eastern Ukraine?
I have heard they are a brilliant success.
Yes. So, moving forward, we're not, hostile with NATO. NATO is supposedly going to be cooling relations. We're in the infancy of this stage. We have established one simple victory, and it's not a victory of borders. Our biggest victory was a victory of respect. Now the West knows
recognition
that when Russia gives a final warning, We are not bluffing.
Very
Something
true.
they know, we will back it up, and we will stand our ground on this situation, on
So
this
true.
issue. They're
Good
not
job.
going to test us. They're not going to intervene in Russian affairs without a second thought. All right, this is our big, I should say CSTO affairs. This is our big victory. It's a good win today. Anyway, how's everybody else doing?
Mr. Putin, I brought the finest champagne for your referendums. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you. This must be the Abkhazian delegate from Abkhazia,
Yes,
who is here to tell me you want to be part of the Russian Federation?
No, Mr. Putin.
This is what you tell me, because you are now about to be securely defended by the Russian Federation. I have the papers you just sent to me. You want to be
Mr.
part of the
Putin,
Republic?
I mean, we wanted to send an offer to maybe be a part of Russia to see what would happen. We saw that the Ukrainian territories were accepted into your gracious arms, and we wanted to see our luck potentially on the world stage.
This would be very good. The country of Georgia has just not been safe. And we're very glad that we are able to protect your peoples in the Republic of Abkhazia. And now that our governments have become so close, I think it is time that we begin the first stages of integration of this territory into the wider Russian Federation. And we're so happy you come here this was your plan, to come here and tell us this.
Well, actually, it was just to bring you a bottle of champagne, but congratulations! I am here to tell you that we want to join Russia.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for the champagne, and here is a military garrison of Abkhazia.
Okay, that is kind of what I was worried about. I was going to say...
You are the governor of Abkhazia. You do this now. Good job. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Putin. Okay, goodbye. Thank you.
Goodbye.
I don't even know. I can't see the game, so I don't even know if Abkhazia just joined Russia or not. What hell? Did you need something, Natson? Oh, there's been some weird beef between South Africa and Australia for some reason.
I'm just going to trust you because you're
Just put it in
Australian.
countries.
I don't understand. What does that mean?
We were part of the Commonwealth, until you left.
Oh, so that undoubtedly means that we unreservedly trust everything that every nation says that we have been in a union with before.
I'm not every nation. I'm Australia and you're South Africa. What do you mean? We have historical ties that go very, very far.
That's true.
Okay.
They do.
There's many nations that have old historical ties that don't anymore. But,
this is also true.
I'm sorry. Are you just sitting here and telling me that Australia deserves as little trust and recognition as any nation in the world when it comes to South Africa? Are you really telling me that right now?
I mean, we've had no contacts for the last 5 years, so why not?
I mean, you didn't contact us either.
Yeah.
Yes,
no
because
reason
the
to.
world was tumultuous.
We're not telling you that we expect you to respect us, which you haven't done anyway, quite frankly.
You didn't defend your name, you slandered my name. You slandered Australia's name for no reason. Why didn't you just
For no reason. Okay, I think we're a bit of an impasse here.
Okay, I'm sorry. For a reason that I at that time couldn't see, for a reason that is reasonable according to your information and your understandings of it, I can understand that. Okay? I get it. Okay, but you must understand that the way your statement was phrased couldn't have been taken by me in a way. Come on, man.
It wasn't meant to be diplomatic. It was meant to be scolding. The way it reads, that's the way it was meant to sound.
Okay, but I mean, does Australia really deserve so little trust?
Yes.
Huh.
For the amounts that we have seen of you talking regarding us behind our backs, yes, quite frankly. That's what you've gained yourself. Minus trust with us anyway.
Minus trust.
Yes, and I'm afraid you are probably going to just have to live with that. And I have that.
Could you hand me a copy of that statement? Maybe
we can't without Without,
maybe just an excerpt.
I'm afraid we're not willing to do that.
Okay, I see. Well, then that's just something I'm gonna have to live with, I guess. Well, I'm sorry. I don't know how to say this. I'm probably just bad at diplomatic communication.
No,
but
no.
No, it's actually really good.
Say again?
Was that out of RP or in RP? I don't know. Out of RP, you're fine. You're good.
Okay.
All right.
Out of RP, you're doing a really good job. Brock is just playing hardball with you.
Yeah, I'm being
like super hardball.
For God's sake!
Jay, I had no idea you were here.
Yeah, I've been listening.
I heard him
this whole
come in.
time.
He was just sneaking and listening to me going off.
Yeah, I've been listening this whole time. I got captured into the. I don't know. I got intrigued. So.
Listen, in RP.
Stop telling me to listen.
Okay. This is what I would love if you could, if you may, in your next correspondence with President Lula. Since I cannot muster the strength to go to Brazil and kneel before him, I'm telling you this right now. I cannot do it.
Okay, farewell.
Turkey and Afghanistan. Fuck! Damn it!
The hell? Like, what else can we do for you, Mr. President?
Maybe some updates. How is it going in Mercosur? Do you have any
Everything's
issues?
going good. There is one particular matter that the Cubans have repeatedly come to see us. They are increasingly frustrated with the United States, and they've been asking Brazil to take a more active role in the matter. I have informed the Cubans that given the fact that twice now they've associated with two countries, Greece and China, that have raised issues, that we in Mercosur are starting to have serious concerns. I assured him that I would continue to speak on the matter, but I reminded him that optics are everything, and the optics are not looking good.
Yes, thank you for bringing this to my attention. And we have no issue with Cuba per se. The problem is not the nation of Cuba. We love Cuba. There's beautiful beaches. It has great potential. The problem is that they know that they acted in a hostile way. They bought weapons from China twice now, and they did associate with this right-wing neo-Nazi regime in Greece.
Yes.
And this is unacceptable.
And I would like to inform the president that we are acutely aware of this matter. We have also told the Cubans that there's no need to stockpile weapons. The Americas have never been safer. Therefore, it again, the optics look bad. Cuba has stated that they are preemptively defending themselves, to which Brazil's response has been there's no cause for concern. The hemisphere is safe.
We totally agree. There's a rocket going on from Orlando, by the way, if you want to witness it.
All right.
We're going to space, it seems like.
So I had a question, seeing that the French delegation's here as well. Mr. Macron, do you have any confirmation about Cuba trying to pursue trade relations with you still, or was that just all talk?
Monsieur Macron?
It's not here.
Emmanuel?
Stunned silence.
He is asleep.
Okay. Well, that's all we got for session 4, man. Almost said session 3 because I edited that video for so long, but unfortunately I do not have any gameplay footage. I was not in the game. I lagged out. But it's life, so what are you gonna do? Later, Gator.